shit. Yeah, nice. Just under 2/3 battery power. 65% remaining. Oh man, I'll tell you. I've just come to accept that there's going to be at least one day a week that's just going to suck. And this was one of them. Let me see if we can get that out. Actually, why don't I go ahead and do that now? Hmm. Oh, pushes all the way out. Oh, that's what this is for. Oh, genius design. Thank you. What was the brand of this? Mantello? I think. Yeah, Mantello with two L's. Good cigar equipment. I wish I could play like some lounge music or jazz or something like that, but I'm not taking any risk on getting flagged on here, unlike a certain person we're going to be talking about momentarily. Excuse me for a moment. I'm sparking up a cigar now. I got three of them today. I've been getting into pipe smoking, but that's been a little bit more difficult. And I found that it's better if you're smoking constantly rather than taking breaks and talking like I'm doing now. I got all three, by the way, pretty decent ones that I think I knew all of them that I got them, that which ones that I got. But for the low price of like, it was literally like $19 even. I'm gonna try lighting one of these by via match one day. There, I remember one of the earliest Aaron Clare videos. That he's gonna be coming up later. There's a video he was outside his old duplex, had his like metal table, and he was trying to light a cigar. I think it literally went to like he put a meme or transition. I think it was like 10 minutes later. He was finally able to light it via a match. And something I learned from Vince over at masculinegeek.com. And you know what? I take that back. Fuck masculinegeek.com. I learned this from Vince at masculinegeek.life. Go there and check that out and subscribe to that. See, I'm pretty much self-taught when it comes to cigars. I just kind of figured it out. Uh, One of the things he told me is that, first of all, I was right in using the butane lighter. I didn't know if I was right in, not doing that. Should I be using a match? Should that be the correct thing? Should I be using the Zippo? Like, is butane, looked down upon? No. He's like, no, that's pretty much the standard. That's what you want to use. The last thing you want to use is just like kind of a regular lighter because you get the gas effect. You get the gas fumes too. Butane is a lot cleaner burning, so definitely want that. And by the way, in case anyone was wondering, like I had one of what was it? I can't remember what the fucking brand is called. Sharpie or something. Basically, it was a butane lighter. It was refillable, and it also came with like the waiter's corkscrew thing, which really drew me in. But they all kept fucking breaking. And this one that we were using to smoke cigars at the Salt Lake or the Village by the Lake or whatever. Rob says, robsays.net. He's also going to be coming up here in a moment. Not on the show. Pretty sure he's asleep by now. We'll be talking about him in a moment or later on. But we, the lighter that I was using, and I guess apparently no one else had a lighter. No one else had one. I had to go find one of my older, just kind of like disposable lighters. So it was windy that day. That's one of the reasons that I had to keep lighting the damn cigars. Alec Bradley White Gold is what we were smoking. What I'm smoking right now, a Punch Classico. It's one I've had before. It's a pretty good one, and clocks in and was like $6, I think. And once you get it lit, it's pretty good, and it's good for at least an hour or so. I know because I've done a show with one of these. I should have the tag in here somewhere. That's not where I have most of the tags. It's here somewhere. Yeah, butane is good. By the way, End of the World Productions. I've been peppering Morgan. You can find her at roguepreparedness.com. I'm going to say that again, roguepreparedness.com. Now, she's, well, shit, one of the very, very few women that I've known that, because she's one of the guys, quote unquote, and she's not one of the ones that's, how do I put it? They were cool at one point, but something ended up offending them, ended up offending their feelings or some shit like that. She's actually pretty fucking cool. She does the prepper thing, hence the name Rogue Preparedness. And she's had a problem with Bull Rush. Etsy.com/shop/Lazarus Razors, as in the guy who was he was risen from the dead by Jesus himself. And I guess Bull Rush is the Jesus of razors. So go to that website, Etsy.com/shop/Lazarus Razors. I've seen his work. I've heard testimonies from people who've gotten his razors. I've not gotten one yet. Which we'll also be getting into. But people that I trust have used his razors, Rob being one of them. So I got no problem promoting it. But Morgan, I like her. She's someone who could take the punches. She can throw them back at you too. Houston Subgirl kind of the same way, but more definitely go check out her site. Go check out her YouTube. I think it's Rogue Preparedness or Rogue Prepared. I can't remember which one. She's also on Twitter and Instagram. I'll be honest, it's late, so I forgot why the fuck I brought her up. But there you go. There's her plug. Let's get to the main topic. Kevin and Sales, I'm going to be sending this to you directly. There we go. It's the 10-minute mark, so let me write that down so I remember. I always like to preamble when I do these. I know I get shit for that from other people who either do or don't have a podcast or whatever. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's my fucking show. I'm going to do it the way I fucking want. I'll take the criticisms, I'll take the critiques or whatever. You should do this, you should do that, you should improve this, you should improve that, or whatever. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's my show, it's not yours. And that's a sentiment I'm going to carry on to with Kevin and Sales. Let's talk about Kevin and Sales for a second. Now, he talks about a lot of the red pill things that, look, I'm just going to get this out of the way. About 25 million people have already fucking talked about the red pill thing. Red pill thing has been a red pill thing for a very fucking long time now. Now, your content, the way you put it, now that's where the value is. Again, I'll be honest. What I hear is a lot of the same arguments that I've heard before, but you know what? I've been at this shit for, maybe you don't notice, probably most people don't notice. I've been at this arguing and, like making myself this red pill rage and all this shit. I've been at this shit for over 13 years now. So, I mean, again, not to brag, it's just the truth. Like, I know, hell, and you've seen this. I've seen you put what is it? The YouTube. If you subscribe, you set a reminder for a video, or if you hit the notification bell. By the way, we'll put this out here right now. If you're listening to the video, do me a favor and do what everyone else asks you to do when you're listening to a video on YouTube. Like the video. That's number one. Subscribe to the channel, and then most importantly, hit the notification bell. Because if you listen to me at thegoddamnbacon.com, that's what's in the banner right now, along with something else I added. A little bit topical. Hopefully you like it enough to, I produce content that's pretty much exclusive to YouTube, as long as I'm still on here. So don't just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell as well. You market yourself, Kevin, as being a red pill guy. Trust me, there's a million of those. Now, I like the way you do your things, and that's why I follow your work. I listen to your live streams, and ultimately decided that your work is something that, it should be promoted, and something that I, at some point in the near future, will be patronizing myself. Kevin and Sales, in case the name doesn't throw you off. Not, it isn't only the woman or the man that Tanner's wife is cheating on with. What do you call it? What the hell's the name? Oh, work husband or whatever. No, he does. He does advertisements, and apparently, I got to give him praise here first. He's got, for somebody who's fairly new, pretty decent following. And he's making decent money off these shows that he does, the live streams that he does. And before, I think it was just the videos he was doing kind of in the background. He was just posting them. Now he's doing a lot of live streams. And if what I'm looking at, if I recognize it correctly, if you look at this, look to the top right, where you had to put your name and date when you were writing a paper or doing some homework or something. You'll see this is still just powered by StreamYard. And I actually I like the fact that StreamYard gets the advertisers from this. Maybe at some point, I'll get the deal from them. That way I'm providing money directly. It'll depend on how far this show goes. But I'm totally fine with promoting StreamYard. A very good company, by the way. But he makes enough money that off of just doing this that he's able to do that. And I guess whatever the hell he's making, it makes up. He's at least able to cover the cost of that. And so good on him. I love seeing that kind of success. Now, if you listen to Kevin Sales, literally just typed in all lowercase. That's his YouTube channel. And there's a website, by the way. I think I put it in the description. KevinandSales.com. He talks a lot about a lot of things, and one of the things that he'll do, I'm going to take a wild guess to say he's a little bit new to talking into a mic. Now, it's not like I'm exactly a veteran here. I think the first episode I did was February of, last year, 2019. So we're coming up on 2 years now. And at least had the advantage of, I've been used to just kind of talking and vamping and stuff, just in person. I have no problem doing that. And I've been in, groups where the conversation kind of stagnates. Then I either kind of get it going or get it spinning in another direction. And Kevin knows that, firsthand. Because I've been on Kevin's show quite a few times. Usually something that's on topic, something that kind of serves his purposes. Something that gives more content for his listeners. Which, from what I can tell, they actually like the inputs that I usually have to give in. It'll be things, not only they haven't thought about, but Kevin himself hasn't thought about. But the thing I wanted to talk about, again, he asked for donations, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Again, just like me, just like a lot of people I'm going to be bringing up, when I get to it. Hell, look at me myself. Only thing I have that I think is actually trustworthy, and that even that might not be very safe right now. Venmo at Bacon Dash Maldito. Amazon Mike ALDITO. I'm actually going to check with my bank and make sure that that actually is safe. So actually, don't donate right now. Something's fishy with that account as well. I don't want that one to get. I don't want any money you send me to get lost. By the way, any money you send me, or you can email me, bacon@thegoddamnbacon.com. You can find other ways to do it if you want to. Any money you send me is just going to go, I don't know. If I start getting like $1,000 a show or something like that, like a certain fucking person apparently did, then maybe I'll spend it on getting some other shit fixed, some automotive repairs, upgrades to the house. But it's pretty much going to go to making the show better. It's going to go to more equipment, better software, that kind of stuff. That's where your money would go if you send it to me. But Kevin, like so many others, rightly so, since just like what I'm doing right now, he's spending his time and his energy, from what I've heard, just fucking literally, speaking into a microphone or speaking into a smartphone or speaking into whatever he's speaking into. And talking about the truth as he sees it and or what it is. Talking about his experiences in life as they are, or as they were, or are now. And he dispenses knowledges and insights, and maybe even conclusions that he's come to that may help the person who's listening to him, or people who are listening to him. Maybe they won't make the fuck ups that he did, just like yours truly and a lot of the rest of us. Maybe I don't know. You won't take out that car loan. You won't take out that house loan. You won't date that chick that has all the red flags that RobSays.net says is a green light. And then all he asks is, if you have the extra money, even just, what is it? He even said it, just $1. If you have just $1 that you can donate, then donate it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I not only do I say that's fine, I actively encourage it. You know what? You should. Because you're taking the time to help other people out, let alone give them content to listen to, in whatever they're doing. Maybe they're driving to work. Maybe they're driving from work. Maybe they're at work. I've been listening for all three of those, both his content and others. But one thing I've noticed that he will do, and he does this more often than I've seen other people do it. Nick August has done this before. NickAugust.xyz, as XYZ for those of us who live in America. Yours included. I just like the Z thing. A couple episodes where he did that, he just tried to kind of drop the link, and he, when you do that, by the way, you kind of have to trust. You have to put the people on manually, so they don't just pop on or anything like that. You have to click on, put them in the show or whatever. So it's sort of safe that way, but still, you can get all kind of random spurs, especially if your channel's big. Like if you're like Roll Tomasi or something, or you're Rich Cooper or Terrence Pop, and you're doing a live stream, and you do that, you're going to get like a million fucking people trying to join in the chat, and it's just going to cause all kind of chaos. But Kevin, and this is no slight against you. You're small enough where that's safe enough. I can do the same thing now. Well, hell, nobody's tuning in at 1:16 in the morning here. Not live, at least. Safety Doc could do it. SafetyPhD.com. Nick August could do it. Masking Geek, they can do it, even though they have enough traction to have monetization. We'll get into that later. But the chat is, they're decent and well-mannered and respectable. I mean, you're not going to get trolls. And even the trolls you get, we have enough moderators there that we can take care of that. I'm one of the moderators. That's how I know. So you don't even have to ask me. Aaron Clare, if he tried to do that shit, most of his listeners are pretty decent, but, still could be an issue. So putting a streamer link, like just in the chat or whatever, or sending it out to people is a totally different thing. More on that in a minute. But I'm inviting everyone. And almost without exception, you'll ask you, hey, does anybody want to join me on this? And based on what I'm hearing, based on what I know about broadcasting, talking into a mic, and it goes beyond my own actual, I wouldn't say professional, but putting my own content out as I'm doing now. I've heard this before. It sounds like you're running out of steam. It's not that you don't have more things to say. You certainly do. And what you have to say is a good thing. It's good content. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not even sure if I want to say it this way, but this is the only way I could think of it. It's like you're reaching out for help. You're reaching out for other people to provide their own content, their own stories. So the latest show we had up there, I may or may not play that later. I've got the capability to do it. I'm not sure if I will. Man, I tell you, Punch makes a very good cigar. This is definitely going in the contraband kit, that's for sure. What's the contraband kit? Tune in next Saturday night to find out. I may or may not go over that. And basically, you started Peter out. You said what you had to say. And as you said, and you're not wrong, sometimes it can be hard to kind of keep going. You're providing audio content, not exactly radio content. And even the people who actually came up, they have the camera on for this, of which I'm still wrestling with the idea of whether I should or shouldn't. Especially with this whole deep fake shit going around. I'm not sure if, I kept myself off camera for like, what was it? Well, 13 years now? I kept myself off of this shit. Even with my own site. That site is almost 5 years old now. Like, nah. Well, first of all, I want you to focus on what I'm saying and not what I look like. I want the ideas, the philosophies to go out there, not other things that people can attack that has nothing to do with what the fuck I'm saying. Or how I'm saying it, for that matter. The other reason is like, look, I don't want to get doxxed. I don't want people coming after my family, my employment, my own fucking house. And so that's why you see the flaming bacon strips. That's the reason why. I think you, Kev, You may have gone full face for 1 or 2 streams, but you, for the most part, and probably for the third reason I'm thinking of, I'm sitting in my fucking boxers now. I haven't showered. I've been wearing my fucking gear. You know, my hair's probably all fucked up. I can feel that I need to shave. Like, do you want to see that, really? You want to see me sitting here smoking a cigar and talking to you? If you do, hey, email me, bake@thegoddamnbacon.com. Let me know. But you've asked for people to cam up, you know, as you put it. Apparently, that's the way that black people say it these days. I didn't know. It's been a long time since it's been a black culture. So I'm learning this shit again. Well, we've been on and we've had pretty good conversations, some of which have led to some very questionable questions. You can hear that, how he has questions for people that show up, you know, especially when there's other women involved and he's talking to guys. You can go to Kevin and Sales on YouTube and find that out. See what I did there? Yeah, that's called advertising. But there was one where I think it was Halloween night. I think I actually will find this. Hang on. Where usually, if he sees me, he'll put me on or whatever. And in this particular instance, as my device decides to restart. Hey, thanks, asshole. He has some guy on, and basically he's having some issues with his girl, you know, issues that were disturbingly similar to some of the ones I had, you know, when I was younger. Oh, nice. It shows that I'm live. I'm looking at my own thing and it says that I'm live. Oh, that's nice. What does it say when I hit subscriptions? Now we're hard left turn here. Actually, not hard left turn, but sort of change the subject. Let's view channel. YouTube was updating some shit earlier today, by the way, in case anyone was listening. And so I saw all kinds of shit on Twitter. It was like, is YouTube down and YouTube censoring people? And I think, no, this time they were just updating shit and things just fucking went wrong. And those things kind of happen, you know. I don't think it was actual censorship shit or whatever, but you know, these things happen. How long ago was Halloween? Look at it, 2 weeks ago. Saw a Good Morning, a show about nothing. Sugar Shay. Here it is. I found it. There we go. I actually managed to turn the volume down. Oh, I found it. I'm on here. It's going to take me a minute to actually find it. This is totally, well, it's scripted in what I want to say, but it's unscripted in what I'm doing right now. Just so you understand. I've gotten quite a bit of, you know, pushback and criticisms of kind of being all over the place or taking way too long to make a point or whatever. Again, just in case you were wondering, the reason I do that, maybe I am a little bit scatterbrained, and that could be the case. That's a fair criticism. I'm a philosopher and and kind of a perfectionist as far as that goes. When I make a post, when I want to make a point about something, I want to make sure I cover all of my bases. I want to make sure everything is fucking answered. So it's airtight. Because I don't want to come back to this subject ever again. And I kind of want to do this with not just this too, but everything I do. There's an issue that needs to be answered. I want to make sure that it's fucking answered. And so that's why I can go talking about a lot of different things. All right, hang on. I've almost got it. I think I've almost got it. Let's see.
How do you know? A lot of men do that. Yeah, you gotta send me some Skrilla, man.
There it is.
Making comments. Thank you for you're asking me to cam you up, but a lot of people who've been cammed up have thrown me Skrilla, and I've let you on a lot, so it's time for you to send me some ends, man, like $1 and $2 at least, man. Yeah, you gotta send me some Skrilla, man. Yeah, so the thing is that like Jelani just sent me $20 today. A lot of people like literally cammed up have sent me Skrilla. Like me talking. This is content. No offense, bro, but yeah. So the thing is that again, to answer your question, female Army veteran, you know.
So that's what I remember hearing. It was Halloween. Look. I knew I had an idea that everything was going to be closed. So I figured I went to go visit the folks and all that stuff. That went pretty well. I'm glad I did it. I was on my way to work and I saw Kevin's going live. I decided to join it. By the way, Kevin, again, if you're listening, people joining your show, just to watch it, that gets you points on YouTube, gets you a little bit closer to Instagram, or Jesus, not to Instagram. It gets you closer to monetization. Ask Chris Von Erich if he knows. We're going to talk about him in a minute. Now, if this is his model, okay, fine. Look, I'm not here to tell Kevin how to do his show. If he wants to do his show this way, then fine. That's okay. If it works for him, well, not just even better, but much better. Well, I'll tell you this, and trust me, I know a lot, and I mean a lot of people who not only broadcast on YouTube, but they broadcast on their own websites, they broadcast on other streaming platforms. This is the first time I've ever heard something like that. If you want to cam up, you have to send me money. Are you fucking kidding me? And you're right. As you say, I've been on there quite a few times. And I would say, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, every time I showed up, I provided some sort of benefit there. I provided some knowledge or insight or philosophy or idea or whatever that not only would have benefited your audience, even you hadn't thought of. That's not even talking about the fact that I'm promoting your damn services. And I have it written down here. I advertise your services for free. KevinandSales.com. So when you start asking for money just to show up on your show, even though you've thrown it up in the public link that you're on live, of which I watched you, again, no offense, crash and burn on doing that a few times. Some of that was probably planned or, you knew it was going to happen, but whatever. Hey, just makes the show more interesting. Don't get me wrong. And yes, apparently most of the people who you've quote unquote canned up with, they've donated to the show. Which I think they should. You're not wrong in asking for donations. But when it starts to become a requirement to quote unquote came up with you, well, that's different. I have it written down here. If you're putting a price point, even if it's $1, a cent, or whatever, on having guests on, it's no longer a donation, but a paid service. So which are you asking for? So if you want to make that a paid service to come onto your show and talk to you, again, it's your show. You can run it however you want. But then it's no longer a donation. A donation is something that somebody gives you out of the kindness of whatever the hell you want to call it. They're not coerced into it. They just simply want to give it to you because, well, one, probably you asked for it, but two, they want to give it to you. And I'm not saying I'm not in that camp. I do. I think you do provide quality content. But when you're putting a barrier to entry in something that you literally are calling other people to come in and quote unquote cam up with you to talk about, to broach the subject, as you also put it. But then you put this caveat on it, then now it's a paid service. Now you're charging them for something. Again, it could be $1, it could be a cent, it could be a shilling, whatever the fuck it is. You're still putting a barrier to entry. So it's no longer just me just looking in my wallet, see if I can find $1 or 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 or whatever the fuck it is. Finding Kevin and Sells thing, Kevin and Sells one at gmail.com. I think that's his PayPal link. You can find him on Cash App too, Kevin and Sales. Based on what I looked at, I think you can just find it. By the way, a good fucking handle to grab. Tell you that. But now you're adding another layer. You have to talk to people. And there's a reason I'm bringing that up. For starters, I guess let's just get to the personal shit. First of all, when I come on your show, and we'll talk more about this a little bit later, I'm bringing value to you too. I think I have this written down too. What was it? Asking for valued info from a guest. It ain't just me. It's, I think, Mike777 is one of your regulars. And you've had other people whose names escape me, so forgive me for that. If you want to do a response to that, please plug them, because that gets them traffic. And there's a reason I'm saying it that way. But I show up, I give valuable content to you as well. And that's really the reason I'll end up camming up. Usually I'm too busy, and that's why I don't do it. I only do it when I have the fucking time. And so now you're adding an extra monetary thing. Fine, even if it's only $1. You know what? It's like anything else. Even if it's only a finger inside somebody that doesn't want it, it's still fucking rape. That's not what you're doing, but understand the analogy. When you put that Instagram link in the chat and you ask people to join, but then you put how do you put this? Entry level like that. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of off-putting. And it's something that's made me look, you know what? Hey, look, there's a million other channels I can go listen to who say these pretty close to the same thing, albeit in different ways. And I can go listen to them. And they can fucking say, I can hear the same thing, and maybe I can join them as well. One of your girls, that was a freedom and like 5 different other word or letters or whatever, OBESM or some shit like that. I think it's all in caps. And I can enjoy them, and and they had no problem reading the comments I have. They actually love the comments that I have, and they actually think they wanted to have me on because they were talking about fitness and nutrition. And guess what I fucking really know about? That's one of my fucking ballparks. That's real easy for me. Because I'm real studied in the field. And you know what? I might show up on their show if she invited me on, and I'll give them a real fucking course on that shit. By the way, for free. That's shit that I've charged people for before. Man, the reason I'm even making this a subject, the reason I'm taking this time out, by the way, I'm taking this time out from other things that I could be doing. I could be, right now, I need to clean up my trash and take that shit out. Actually, it's, given the way I take my trash out, it takes a little bit more effort to do. I should be doing that now. I need to get back to working out. I need to get back to taking my supplements and all that stuff. I'm not doing that now because I'm taking the time to talk to you there, Kev. Sure, I'm drinking box wine because I'm just trying out the box wine world. By the way, not all that bad. Trust me, I've had worse wines out of a bottle than I've had out of a box. Way worse. You probably hear the fans in the background. That's because I'm smoking a cigar. And I want the smoke to go that way. I want to go outside. Sure, I'm enjoying my time doing this, but I'm still spending my time doing this to talk to you. It's been over 51 minutes, and I'm still talking about this. This is longer than I thought it was going to be. The reason I bring all this up, just to be clear, I've never had anybody, if they wanted somebody to join a stream, attach a price point to it, is because they wanted them on their stream. Now, I got examples. You want examples? I got examples. First one, we'll go with Aaron Clary. You can find him at assholeconsulting.com. I'll repeat that again. Asshole. Like exactly the way it fucking sounds. Asshole. Consulting.com. Now he has his own YouTube channel. It's Aaron Clary. It's all one word. Clarey. Now, most of the stuff that he reads, it's all super chats because he's had enough traction for super chats pretty much since the super chats were a thing. By the way, us watching you, Kevin, and subscribing, by the way, subscribe to him. Subscribe to me again, by the way. It's going to be like a million years before I ever get monetization, but hey, we all start somewhere, right? But he's been there for a long time. So much to the point where he is I think he passed the 50,000 mark of subscribers for like a long time ago, 2-3 years ago. And he'll have people like, or he'll find them. He'll still read the runs that if they're good enough and he sees them, he'll read them anyways. Or whoever he's on it, usually Chad. ChadOkenCPA.com. If you want somebody who can do your taxes right and get the best results for you online, by the way, go to ElkinCPA.com. Does he know I'm doing that? No. Am I doing that plug for him? No. I'm just doing it because I know he's a good service. He has no idea I'm plugging him. ElkinCPA.com. Oh, don't worry. There's more coming up. But he's asked me to be on his show. I haven't had time. Sorry. That's just how it happens. And he's made the point, you know what? You don't ask to be on somebody's show. You wait for them to ask you to be on. And he's not wrong. I'll give you a list of shows that I've been on. One, The Men's Room. Mensroomlive.com. Now, I'll get that one out of the way because that's literally a terrestrial radio program. It's put on the internet via radio.com. I think it's owned by Intercom, which now owns KSW and other radio programs. And so everything goes under them. You go to radio.com, you search for the Men's Room, or you search for KSW, and you can find them. Men's Room, they broadcast live Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. I bring them up because here's the thing, Kev. It's a listener call-in show. So they bring up a topic, they talk about the topic, they have news stories or other subjects where, the topic kind of plays into it. And then they'll take callers. And guess what? Talking about radio, I don't know if you have any experience with this. I actually do. People call in to talk to a screener. Screener decides that their story fits in with whatever the fuck they're talking about, or it's just interesting enough that it will make good show content, or the person themselves will make good show content, or both. And then they have to go through a soundboard. There's like 5, 8, 9, 10, maybe even 20 people. They have enough phone lines that they can hold that open. And eventually get on, and you're just allowed to talk. And that's how radio works. There's no pay to entry. You come with good content and you roll with it. Now, obviously, YouTube is a little bit different, and you've had to deal with this yourself. I've watched you do it. Talk to people who want to talk about something completely different, and you kind of have to corral them back to whatever the topic at hand is. I watched you do it, and you've done it pretty well. Let me put that there. So running an internet or a YouTube show, a little bit different. A little bit less, how do we put it? On track, I guess. Not as regulated. Let me tell you about some other people. Chris Von Erich. You can find him, CRIS. There's no H in there because, you know what? I agree with Chris as far as his name goes. You don't pronounce the H, so why the fuck have it there? Chris Von Erich. He runs a calling program called You Got a Problem. And usually he has some subject that he's talking about. And he wants you to talk about that subject if you can, but you can talk about whatever problem you want. You call in and you just talk. And again, that provides content for his show. And he loves when people call in. You love, Kevin, you love when people call in. You love when people leave comments. You love people donate, obviously. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll keep making that fucking point. There's nothing wrong with asking for donations for your fucking time putting into content that people are listening to, myself included. But he's even done the StreamYard thing, like, I guess whatever his call-in line wasn't working, so he do the StreamYard thing, and then people will call in through that. They'll tune in through that. Whether it's through Wi-Fi, whether it's through wired connection, whether it's through mobile data, whatever. He gets to have a conversation with them, and he actually enjoys it. And I think, again, when we have conversations, I usually bring up things that you haven't even thought about, and you end up asking me questions about that. We were talking about, what was it, Bowl of Chaos today? You only slept with black and white chicks. You never had a native chick before. By the way, I've been all over the fucking map. Black chicks, plenty of them. White chicks, quite a few at least. Eastern Europeans, that was a hot Russian next. Mexican chicks. Dark meat Asian chicks. And then Bola Cows, who's a Native American. The hottest redskin on the reservation. As she has well earned that fucking title, and she fucking worked for it. She didn't know she was working for it, but she got it. That was an answer. I don't think you ever saw coming, and you had a lot of questions about that. You got a lot of answers too. I had no problem talking about that. I got no problem giving you answers about that. Because you and I'm gonna guess based on the demographics your audience hasn't either, and they might want to know about. What if you prevented me from actually talking about that story? With the what do you call it? A price line. A pay to play basically, and I wasn't able to meet that. What if you did that? You didn't do it today, or tonight, or whatever. It's fine. It's completely within your power to do that. What if that story never got out there? Then you wouldn't have even thought of any of this shit. Now, ask you this. I'll give you a couple of other people to look up. And please, if anyone, not only you, Kevin, but anyone else who maybe is in Kevin's place, if you wouldn't mind promoting this, definitely do. I definitely promote your work. So that's how, by the way, that's how most of this shit works, between online personalities. Okay, I understand if you're talking about, this is one thing I wanted to bring up. I understand if you're talking about just your average Joe Smo or whatever, someone who's tuning in and they just kind of want to tune in. If you throw the StreamYard link in, and it's just some average asshole over. I've had an online presence for a fucking long time. I've been talking to assholes for a very long time. I've been writing articles for a long time. I've been doing podcasts for maybe not as long a time. I think it was maybe like a year and a half or so. But a long enough time where people actually follow my fucking work. And if I tell them to go follow something, they fucking follow it. I don't have that many followers, but the ones I do, they listen to what I have to say. And so when I tell them to go to kevinsales.com, they'll go do it. When I tell them to go to nickschulander.com, I had this recently. Nick Schulander, he does digital marketing, by the way. And he's actually one of my original sponsors on this show. When I tell people to go to nickschulaner.com, SEHULAN as in November, ER.com, you want digital marketing, they go to him. When I speak, they listen. So I'm not some fucking newbie here. When I say they should, they should listen to this, or they should listen to that, or they should at least consider these services that I tell them they should go check out, they fucking do it. So I get if it's some random talking Tom, Dick, and Harry, they just want to show up on the show and just talk or whatever, like Mike 777 does all the fucking time. And by the way, no shade to Mike 777. I think he's pretty fucking funny. Even though he apparently needs to get a new fucking phone because he's always at 1%, at some point. Because his battery life sucks. But again, when you're putting a public link out there, you put it in the chat. That's inviting everyone else on for free. And you said, but you need to donate it out. Well, that's putting a price or something. It's no longer a donation. So you get a donation is something that someone gives you willingly, out of the kindness of their heart, out of getting something out of your services, what have you. When you start making that a requirement to come on the show that you invited literally everybody to join in the first place, well, then that's now a paid service. And the fact that I haven't heard you do that to literally anybody else. Now, I've listened to a lot of your shows. I haven't listened to all of them. I've had other shit going on. And trust me, I wouldn't mind listening to your shows and liking them and giving you as much exposure as I can. So maybe I missed this. But have you asked this about anybody else? Not just somebody like me who can bring, knowledge and intellect to the conversation like I usually do. Not to pat myself on the head too much, but let's face facts. Usually I do. Intellect, facts, reason, evidence, entertainment, amusement, whatever. I usually have something to add to the table. And that adds to what you have to offer, which is not insignificant. Again, I want to make that point. You do a pretty good job of running a show. As most as I can see. Yes, of course, there's been times where you were trying to do music, and I tried to myself, and I learned my lesson far faster than you. I'll say that. Yeah, let's not try playing mainstream music or anything else like that, unless you get fucking suspended and deleted and all this shit. But when I show up, I have something to offer to the table. So why in fuck's name would you charge me to do that? When I'm taking my free time to fucking do that for you. Like, even today. You're asking me about the Cash App and PayPal and stuff, and truthfully, like, I've been having trouble with both. Make no mistake, I will throw some money your way. I will. There's one reason I want to do it. It's kind of my own nefarious reason, but I'm still going to throw you money. And for my taste, if it was the other way around, I wouldn't care anyways. Fuck you, got paid. That's my philosophy as far as that goes. But putting the fucking caveat there, okay, you want me to join, but you want me to pay was $1, and it's not much. I understand that. But as Big Worm said in Friday, it's the principle of the matter. I'm going to show up. I'm going to put all of my knowledge, all of my reason out there. By the way, for free, all my time that I could spend literally Hitler doing anything else, listening to, I think, what was it, Roll Tomasi? He was streaming at the same time you were. I could have just tuned in to him instead of you. Now, Rollo, Rational, he doesn't need my help. RationalMel.com, by the way. He's also one of my sponsors. And the reason he's one of my sponsors is he's giving me some advertisement. And he also subscribes to my channel. Have you subscribed to my channel, by the way? Bacon comments. Pretty much is that simple. That's it. Look for Bacon comments. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Have you done that? I've done that for you. Have you done it for me? That's how most of the online content creators, they operate. In other words, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Pretty sure Rich Cooper, Entrepreneurs in Cars. Garage Smalls, I know he's done that. He's subscribed to Aaron Clary. He's subscribed to Terrence Pop. Terrence Pop also subscribed to me. His website is going to be going on my list too, redonkulous.com. Give this a shot. REDONKULAS.com. Give that a shot. I still have yet to actually review his site so I can put it in the promotion list. But it's going to go on there. Have you subscribed to me? I put a content at least every week on here. This is a Renegade podcast, so so this is extra content, I suppose. Bonus content, this is what I call it. Have you done that? That's free too. I'm not asking you for money. I'm just asking you to subscribe. That's all. That's right. And one of the other reasons I wanted to do is I want to give you the list of people who have asked me to be on the show, and I've been on there. Nick August. Again, nickaugust.xyz. He also has a magazine now, punchriot.com. Both of those are on the sponsor list on my particular channel, which I can guarantee you, one of the reasons I want to advertise to you, you're going to reach listeners that would not have heard my content unless I reached out to you. When I put you on my channel, you're going to reach people that have not heard of you until now. So you're going to get more people. Jack Napier. And if I remember, his outlet is personalstrengthconsulting.com. Spelled exactly the way it sounds. Another one, I've not only been on his show twice, especially when the whole Black Lives Matter thing fucking went down, all hell broke loose, the George Floyd thing. He got kicked off Twitter. And the reason we ended up doing this show with other people Nick Schulaner and John Still, specifically. John Still dash 99. You can find him on Twitter. The reason we ended up doing that show is because we ended up talking offline and we ended up exchanging phone numbers. So he has my number. I found out that he got kicked off Twitter for the night or the week or whatever because he texted me. Basically, when all hell was breaking loose here in Seattle and Portland and LA and everywhere else, he got kicked off of there. And I said, hey, man, you know what? Is your YouTube channel working? And he texts back, yeah. So, hey, you know what? Why don't we do a show about this? I'm home. I'm not able to work, because we shut down operations because, all hell broke loose. And we did what arguably is one of his most popular shows, if not his most popular shows, where we just sat and talked about this shit. Again, he's talking about things, and I'm bringing shit up that's going on there. I'm providing value. You can find him at safetyphd.com. By the way, he has a book out. Let's put that out there. School of Errors. Do you want your kids to be murder, rape, kidnapped, and probably in that order? No? Okay, go get his book. And by the way, it's not just if you have kids. He talks about a lot of other things in that book and a lot of his other podcasts, of which every person who is preparing for the apocalypse or anything else should listen to. You can find that at safetyphd.com. The guy literally has a PhD in school safety and other safety measures. He has my number. That's how we started that. Now, all these guys, what they have in common is they've asked to be on my show. Safety PhD, safety doc, David Perodin, he's asked to be on my fucking show when I didn't even have a show on here. It was just on Instagram. It was just when I was doing it in my fucking bathroom. Because he enjoyed it that fucking much. He's even set the fucking right up on how I write things. The way I describe things, the way I basically cover all the bases and shit that I was talking about earlier. So understand, when you, and don't get me wrong, again, if you want to run your show the way you're running it, look, you got the subscribers, you got people donating, and people should donate. They absolutely should. I should be donating. I don't even dispute that. And I will. At a point where I fucking can. One of the main reasons I'm bringing this up is because, as far as I can tell, the only person you're asking to donate is me. The person that has brought a lot of, and again, if you can disagree if you like, and I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you if you think differently. I brought a lot of value to your show when I show up, whether I'm in the comment section or whether I'm quote unquote cammed up. And again, the reason I will cam up, one, I have the time to do it because I have fuck all else to do. I don't have a million other things fucking to deal with in the background. And two, I have something to say on the subject that you're talking about. Something that I've known about for years, if not almost a decade or even a decade. I've been talking about this shit a long fucking time. The shit that you're talking about now. I've known about radio and how to kind of pace things. It's funny when I get criticism about, I don't know. Well, not about that. That's probably bad, but I'll tell you this. You know what I did just there? Aside from stumbling on my own words, I did a pause. Maybe you heard the fans in the back, maybe not. Who knows how well the mics are working on this? I'm working with my own technical difficulties, so that aside, I created a pause. Now, that in the radio community, anyone who knows talk radio, we're hearing a pause in the radio. It actually brings people more attention. They're not sure if their radio is cut out, so therefore they pay more attention. So when I talk into the radio again, they're hearing what I'm saying pretty much fully consciously because they're not sure if their radio cut out. See, that's one thing I bring into a conversation. I bring that kind of expertise. And not only that, I'll end up asking questions. And you've been on the receiving end of this a lot. Where I'm talking about something, it's something that's on top. We did this fucking today. Or at least while I was awake. Which I count as today. We were talking about Bowl of Chaos, and what was the subject? Have you had to deal with some toxic relationships or some shit like that? Or women, they wanted something more than they really deserved or whatever? And I was talking about Bowl of Chaos, and we were talking about, we had this big romping session as we usually do in bed, and the bed is fucking soaked, you know, and she wants to talk about what all women basically end up going through when they get it really good from somebody, and some guy, let's put it that way, and they want to take it farther, and you get the where's it going question. And we already had this question, we talked about it before, but it comes up again because that's what women do. And the example I gave, you know, what was it? She pointed at the now soaked bed from both of our sweat, and she says, well, what the fuck is that? What was that all about? And I asked you, what is she really asking? And it's fine that you didn't really know the answer to that question because most people wouldn't. That's something I would think about. That's something that I bring to the table. I know the fucking answer to that. Not only have I talked about that before, I've lived it. There go the fucking question. I wanted to ask that question because I wanted you to think about that, and I wanted to give you the question, or the answer rather, so you understood it. Maybe you haven't got that question. Even more important, your listeners probably haven't gotten that question before, or they haven't gotten that answer before. They haven't gotten that analysis before, and I bring that to the table. One other one I'm gonna bring up, and I'm only gonna bring them up once because we've kind of split ways here. It sucks that we split ways because I love these guys to death when I listen to them, but things happened, and these things happen. They used to be a sponsor on the show, and they're no longer anymore. But GaryandDino.com. Again, I love their content, or at least want to listen to it. Who knows what they're doing now? But they, out of all people, without me asking, without me telling them to do it or anything, like, they would promote my fucking work. TheGoddamnBacon.com. They put that out there, and they would talk about a lot of things. Gary, in particular, would actually listen to the show, and he had comments about some things that are on the show. Quite a few things that were, he had criticism for it. And by the way, Gary and Dino, they've been at it for over 10 years now, probably close to 11 now. I'm not sure, what did they start? June the 12th, 2010. All right, so almost 6.5 years now they've been at it. One of the longest running podcasts ever, rivaling Joe Rogan's. And they've taken the time not only to criticize my work and promote it at the same time, but to have me on the fucking show. They've had me on their show. That's why I wanted to bring these guys up. Aaron Clary had me on the show. Gary Dino had me on the show. The Men's Room radio program, so they do this anyways, had me on the show. Chris Von Erich, Nick August, Jack Napier, Safety Doc, twice. Jack Napier twice, actually. Had me on the fucking show. And not once had they asked me to pay them even $1 to show up as a personality. And yet I'm not criticizing what you're doing. Clearly you're doing something right if you have people donating money to you to keep you doing the show. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But there was never any coercion to do anything else other than, hey, make sure your shit is correct. You can broadcast okay. So you sound okay on the show. So you can actually be present on the show, which has been a problem on Nick August's program for whatever fucking reason. Which is not Nick August's problem. That was mine. There's an issue on my end. Because there's always an issue on my end. The only person I've ever heard this from, you got to donate in order to join the show, is you, Kevin and Sells. You're the only one who has ever brought this up. And so what I want to make a point of, just to kind of clarify this, if you want to ask for donations, that's totally fine, and I think that's a good thing. People should pay for, or at least, maybe not pay, but at least donate to the content that they get for free that gives them value. You're 100% right about that. Stefan Molyneux, by the way, freedomain.com. Forget about, me doing a plug for him for free every goddamn month. He's one of the sponsors that I put in my chat, by the way. But I don't even know if he knows that I'm putting it out there. He got deplatformed recently, so you're not going to find him on Twitter. You're not going to find him on YouTube. You're not going to find him on Instagram. You will have to go to freedomain.com to find him. But I think he's a good service, and that's why I promote him. Anytime he's had a guest, it's just because he had a good guest. Duke Pesta, Gaber Mate, Jordan Peterson. I'm pretty sure whenever he had a guest, he just had a guest on because it was a good guest and they had something to talk about, maybe a specific subject, or usually a specific subject. It wasn't because of vested interest, because the guy donated him a fucking $1, which is what you're asking. So again, I'll ask, just to get back to the topic. Are you asking for a donation? Or are you asking for a paid service? Are you asking people to pay to join you and talk to you online? Are you quite literally asking people to pay for your time? If you are, that's fine. Okay, that's well within your power. I'm not telling you not to do that. But if that's what you're doing, especially when you yourself get a lot of value out of the people who call in or join the StreamYard to your show. That's where me and you split ways, basically, because I'm never going to do that. So I don't care. Look, okay, I have 20 subscribers now? I can go up to 200 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers, 2 million fucking subscribers, if that's even possible. Again, I'm playing the long game. That could happen. Who knows? But no matter how big I get, I'm never. Look, okay, if I have to put the work in, if I'm doing like I was a personal trainer at some point, and I'm still a personal trainer now for 2 or 3 people or something like that. Okay, I got to put time to figure out who you are, what your body type is, what you're eating, on all this other shit that goes into fitness and nutrition, all this shit. Okay, I got to put time in for that. So I got to charge for that. But just talking to people, especially about a subject that you wanted to talk about, that you're talking about now, that you will get content, decent content in, to have outside opinions, to call in, that's where I draw the fucking line. What the fuck, man? I mean, I hate to be abrasive, but Jesus Christ. I get you want to have people donate, and they should, but that's not a donation at that point. That's you charging for a service. And furthermore, that's you charging for someone just to talk to you. You know what? I have, well, it's not mine, but not only do I have the private group chat that's on Twitter, that's one that Nick August started for the Collapsitarian Olympics, and is still going, by the way. I can't tell you how to join that, but because it's not mine, it's not one that I started. But the ones I did start, they're the ones on Instagram. There's 2 of them, actually. And 2 of them, we were doing live private shows on there. I wasn't charging Nick Schulander or Chad Oakins or Jack Napier or Rob Says or, Mary Jo or anybody like that. I don't charge for that. Furthermore, we have people that wasn't. Carl Hoff, he's actually, I would end up saying something that would get his attention, and he would start a live stream. Or Juan Cabrera, actually. He's one of Rob's rooftop Mexicans. Like, he would initiate a live stream, and you know what? Even when I was working, I would go ahead and answer, because I figure, if you're calling me, you have something to say that you need to talk about. Or you need something to say, you need somebody to at least listen. I'm not charging for that. Not for the people that follow me. Maybe if it was some random Tom, Dick, and Harry, maybe I'd do that. Maybe if it got to a point where I had so many people calling that I had to put up a paywall, maybe. First of all, I don't ever see that happening anytime soon. But still, you know what? I had somebody call me while I was in fucking bed. It was in the morning or afternoon or whatever. I was waking up, and they were on the East Coast, so throw those caveats in. But they called me and they had something to say. And so I picked up and listened. No matter how big I get, I'm never going to charge somebody just to talk to them. Never. I don't know. It's just something that's never really occurred to me. I'm aware of the asshole consultant model. Rich Cooper does his own thing as well. I think Wrestling's Blue does the same things as well. And he should. I understand that. But I'm never going to get big ones like, you know what? You need to donate money in order to talk to me live. I'm never going to fucking do that. Never. And if I ever do that, if anyone's listening to this and you hear me actually say, hey, you need to donate $1 or 50 cents or whatever the fucking currency is to listen, to talk to me live, come find me and put a bullet in my fucking head because I've clearly gone off the fucking rails. The reason I talk to you, Kevin, is because I have something to contribute. And I want to help out not just you, but your audience. And so the fact that you want to charge me just to do that, I'm not going to lie, that does rub me the wrong fucking way. It does. And speaking of people who rub people the wrong way, Ray John has joined the chat. He says I could donate 5 cows. Dude, if you could, what kind of cows, first of all? Because that's a lot of money to, donate some cows. I'm running low on steaks, actually. I just cooked up my my last regular one last night, and I have other nice ones ready to go, but I don't want to cook them. At least not tonight. Are you vivisecting these cows? Who knows? But no, I wanted to put that out there. Look, if that model works for you, and you're doing a lot of things that work for you, you were talking today, you wanted to get up to $200 in donations in just a day, and that's pretty fucking good. That's more than I fucking made tonight. I'll tell you that right now. And I was working an actual honest job. I wasn't talking to a mic just to get donations. I was actually working. That's way more than I made tonight. If you could do that, dude, 100% behind you. If you can do that, and if that's part of your business model and it works for you, you go right the fuck ahead. 100% thumbs up. As far as I'm concerned, look, if you want people to donate in order to come online when you're literally looking for people to come online to help you continue a conversation, it doesn't matter. That's a fucking charge. That's you charging for your services. That's you charging for your time. That's you charging for your presence. And that's fine too, but at least be fucking honest about it. At least be upfront. It's no longer donation. And you have other people, you have other mods, and they tell you, other people like, subscribe, donate, and all this stuff. And that's good. And I'm glad you have people who do that for you. Good for you, man. I'm glad you do. But if you're charging for your services, at least be fucking honest about it. But I'll tell you this. Out of any online personality, again, I've listed quite a few. Nick August, Chris Von Erich, Gary Dino, Aaron Clary, Men's Room, The Podcast, Nick August, Jack Napier, Safety Doc, Jack Napier, all these people. They have options for you to actually, help them support the program, help them support the cause, all that stuff. I've never heard anyone ask, okay, if you want to join live, you have to donate $1 or whatever, even if it's just $1. That's all I'm saying. Especially when you're throwing a link out there for literally any Tom, Dick, and Harry to click into, which indicates that you need some damn help. You need somebody to actually talk about whatever the topic is you're talking about. And then it also assumes that the person who's camming up, in your words, has the time to actually, well, cam up and address the topic in the way that you want. And so the way you're doing that, the reason I bring up the men's room, you're doing it like a call-in show. Call-in show, you don't have the listeners pay to call in. They call in so you have content. They call in so they bring perspectives that you hadn't thought about, or stories that you wouldn't have had otherwise on your platform, on your program. That's the whole reason you would have a call-in show, or you would do what you do and what I've done before. Just put the fucking StreamYard link in the chat so anyone can join. So which is it? I'm not telling you you need to change up a program. If this is working for you, then go ahead and do it. I'm just telling you how radio works. And that's on the internet, mind you, on YouTube, mind you, but it's the same fucking thing. It's the same concept. The way you're doing it is the same concept as radio. And that's something I definitely know about. So how do you want to do it going forward? Fine, I may not sound like it, but trust me, I know. There's a reason I do things the way I do. And that's because of a lot of the lessons that I've learned. I'm doing this so you learn them as well. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. But just keep that in mind as you continue. I want to see your program have success. That's why I'm promoting it. I think it's good shit. That's the whole reason I'm doing this now. I got a lot of other shit I could be doing right now, but I'm addressing this with you, my friend. That's because I care. I wouldn't be saying any of this. I wouldn't have been going almost 2 hours now if I didn't care. I listen to your program because I care. That's a glaring problem you have. Do you really want to be donations, or do you want to charge for your services? Pick one. Do you want to have me on your show or not? Pick one. Because you know what? Every time I show up on a show or something, they want me back because I provide fucking value. Do you want me to come back? I don't mind the fact that you asked for donations. In fact, I'm gonna actually, once I get shit settled here, once shit stops catching fire, I will throw a donation there here and there. I will. I got no problem with that. I have no problem with supporting voices that actually say things that I like and I enjoy and I can listen to while I'm at work or whatever the fuck I'm doing. I have no problem with that. Be very careful what you put limits on, though. Those limits, those will kill you. You're bigger than me on YouTube, that's fine. But I've seen a lot of the seedy underbellies and everything else that you may or may not have seen before. I've seen what sinks people, and this is one of them. So keep that in mind. Again, I'm just doing this so it will help you. Again, I had other shit to do tonight. I took the time off from that. I should be working out. Should be doing other things around the house here. Took the time out to hammer this out or record this. So I hope you took the time to listen. Kevin S. If you have made it this far, thanks. I know you have other things to do with your time. Other than make shows and do whatever you do it is for a living and other things you have to do. So if you've made it this far, hopefully this helps. As for me, well, I gotta get out of here. Go ahead and reread his comments because he took the time to comment. See, you know what? This has nothing to do with the topic, but and Ray John's he's one of my dedicated trolls here, and I don't mind reading this shit. Whatever. I don't care. Talk about, getting too big for your audience or whatever. Steaks, I'm a vegan, communist, transgender. Okay, sure. I like my steaks burnt as hell. Well, if you're a vegan, you're not eating steaks. Israeli and Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm surprised he was able to even actually type that out because I thought the Jew thing was getting censored all over YouTube. I'm surprised that lasted. What was it? That was on the screen for like what, 10 minutes? Whatever. Rage, I hope you're doing okay up there. I haven't talked to you in a minute actually. I hope you're doing all right. Despite your trollish comments, I hope you're doing okay. All right. It's beyond a witching hour. Witching hour is what, Chris Von Erich would say. And I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for taking the time to tune in and listen to this. Ray John's listening live, but for the most part, I'm going to assume that Kevin, hopefully you listen to this. You'll listen to this on the replay. And for the most part, everyone else will as well. Until next time, stay ready. Keep it tactical. And above all else, be chaos, my friends.